suicide, something that I think we are going to address. Uh, in this time, we should really be talking about it. And 720 people that died each year, 720,000 people, that's a lot. 15 and 29-year-old are the third leading cause of death. At least that percent you can see, yeah, occurs in low and middle income countries. There are factors: suicide, social, cultural, biological, psychological, and environmental. We are going to discuss all this. There's a prior attempt, and of course, it's a risk factor, and it's very important to consider it. And of course, very many people take their own lives every day. More people make attempts, and it's a tragedy in families, communities, countries that have, and has long-lasting effect on the people left behind, and of course, throughout that lifespan, it was the leading cause of death among 15 and 29-year-olds, and of course, high middle-income countries. It doesn't just occur here, but of course, it's a global phenomenon. In all regions of the world, 73% of global suicides occur in low and middle income countries in 2021, and being a public health issue and a disaster. And of course, with low cost interventions and evidence based, it can be prevented, and of course, that strategy will be needed a multi-sectoral suicide prevention strategy. And of course, depression, alcohol use disorders yeah, they are the risk factors we need to look at, and as well as establish high income countries. And of course, crisis can happen to deal with life stresses such as relationship or family issues, financial issues, or chronic pain or illnesses. Conflict, disaster, violence, abuse are signs of isolation strongly associated with suicidal behaviors, and of course are high among vulnerable groups which experience discrimination, such as refugees, migrants, indigenous people, lesbians, gay, bisexuals, and gender intersex individuals and prisoners. And of course, it's a self-harm in the name of injury or death. That is what suicide is, and of course, there are factors we need to consider when we talk about suicide. Did this person have attempted this? Is there a history of illnesses? Does this person have legal in issues? Lack of employment, even financial problems or loss, impulsive or aggressive tenderness, substance abuse, current prior history of childhood experiences, sense of helplessness, hopelessness, victimization, perpetuation, and of course history. This is where the genes come in. Of course, and of course, at the end, these are some of the individual factors we need to consider. Legal problems, people want to accept escape their issues, how else are they going to do it? And that is why we also have murder suicide. People who take drugs can decide anything, anywhere, anytime. Of course, mental illnesses, or and even chronic illnesses like cancer, mental illnesses, even especially among the elderly, are some of the things we need to consider. As we continue, relationship factors, history or called trauma, community violence, communities being there against you, access to firearms, especially the law enforcement spikes, and their lack of access to healthcare. So in the class suicide clusters where one homestead people take their own life, next homestead somebody else has taken their own life. It's like a disease, like they had COVID. One person gets COVID, another one gets COVID. So that is how suicide works. It's just like a disease and an illness that needs to be looked at. And of course, suicidal factors. Unsafe media portrayals. This is where media also has failed us. Putting up media that will cause somebody to have self harm. Of course, stigma associated with seeking help. And of course, seeking help is not wrong. People see mental illness as something sinister, but that is where the failure is. Not everybody talks about mental health except for me. So we can get. So I hope you're going to like this video as we continue. And subscribe and check on our next video, and be a part of it. So, being a warning sign, increased substance abuse. People take drugs, people isolate themselves, anger, rage, expressing hopelessness, sleeping too little or too much, just wanting to die, being isolated, staying alone. People take drugs a lot, and of course, increased substance abuse. Looking even for lethal means, weapons are all over, mood swings, expressing mood by sleeping too little or too much, wanting to die, even making plans for suicide, and selling your property and all that, selling what you had, selling. You're walking one last time, going when you're going one last time, telling people goodbye, eating their favorite food one last time, writing suicidal notes, posting on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, one more time. In these cases, these issues, this, and they end up going viral anyway. And of course, protective factors are really, seeking religious beliefs, seeking spiritual support as a Christian, even culturally, limit access of little means, locking your kitchen, what have you, staying connected with family and community, access to professions, to mental health professions, and being proactive and seeking help from religious leaders or personal beliefs that will discourage this behavior, and sitting down, talking to family, friends, and being connected to the society, and finding a way to solve your issues. And of course, there is a safety plan, coping skills. We do the CBT, which helps a lot. Mediation, coping skills like planning suicidal ideation for car, and of course mental health programs, participation in hospitals or clinics, uh, in case of suicidal ideations. So what else can I say except thank you for making it count and talk. Thank you.